and welcome back to another adventure with Stager Insights. And today I have a guest from the United Kingdom, Nina Cooke. Welcome.
Thank you, Christine. It's great to be here.
It's wonderful to see you. So tell us something about you and your business and how you help people.
I've been working with entrepreneurs for quite a few years now. And the reason I got into doing what I do is because I kept seeing entrepreneurs making things so hard for themselves and tripping themselves up and self-sabotaging themselves. They wouldn't get their goals. And because I figured out how to create a successful business for myself, I started working with entrepreneurs to help them to see that it's not the external stuff that gets in the way. They get in their own way through their old conditioned thinking, and they limit themselves and they trip themselves up time and time again. So I work with them to really understand how they're limiting themselves through their thoughts, and then to dissolve those limiting beliefs and then create a whole new set of powerful beliefs which help them then to achieve the goals that they want.
That's awesome. And I think our conversation today is going to be of value not only to the staging industry, but to the real estate industry and anyone in between, no matter what you're doing. Pies, building $500 million houses. This is really a key element. So everybody starts with marketing. So how can we get past the fear of marketing?
Past the fear of marketing. I've just run a program on how to market fearlessly. And when I surveyed my list, I said, what is your biggest challenge to having more success? The biggest challenge was the fear of putting myself out there. And when we started digging around to see, well, why are you scared of putting yourself out there, of marketing your services? Oh, it's because I fear rejection. I fear that other people are doing it and they're doing it better than me, and no one's going to be interested in my stuff. They're going to think I'm too expensive. So this is all the stuff that we make up in our heads, and it's not based on reality. Now, someone listening to this may say, but it is based on reality because I told someone about my price and they said I was too expensive. So it is real. My fear is real. But this is what we do. We make up all these beliefs. And because we have these beliefs, and thoughts are magnetic, we attract more of what we think about. Because we have these beliefs, then we keep finding evidence to support the beliefs. And they will say, well, look, it's been proven that I'm right about how I'm thinking. But there's other evidence, the opposite evidence, which we never see because we can only see through our limiting beliefs. We can only see the world through our beliefs. So everyone sees a unique version of the same world, which blows my mind. And so when we have these thoughts that marketing is scary, it's purely because we have made up scary meanings about marketing ourselves. It's not the marketing that's scary, it's the thoughts that people are having about marketing that are scaring them. Because marketing is actually a very neutral thing. When you think about it logically, all you're doing is putting out an offer or having a phone call or writing a blog post, making a video, doing an interview, whatever it is. It's actually a neutral thing. And the way that we can know that it's neutral is because everyone has different thoughts about putting ourselves out there. And so we layer our own fears on top of this neutral marketing. So the way to get over it, and really we do need to just get over it because we have to market to get new clients.
Yeah.
Really, very few cases are we going to be given clients on a plate. So we have to get out there and tell people what we do and how we can help them. So the way to get over it is to identify that faulty thinking, that untrue thinking, those beliefs that we're holding on to, that we're projecting onto the world. So if we think I'm too expensive, people aren't going to be able to afford me, then inevitably you're going to go into a sales conversation thinking they're going to think I'm too expensive. They're going to say no to me. And therefore your whole conversation is laced at your end with that fear that you're on a subliminal level, you're giving out that information to your prospect. You're not going to book me, you're going to find someone else. And we will do everything we can to avoid rejection, because we think rejection is personal. When someone says no to my service, they're actually saying no to me and the core of who I am. They can see something deep within me. They can see something flawed within me. They know I'm not good enough, which is why they don't want to work with me. And so when we take it into that deep personal space within us, that we've been rejected at the very core of who we are, then of course we're going to do everything we can to avoid that situation, which means we don't put ourselves out there.
Do you connect that rejection to something that's happened in the past? Something that might have happened in childhood, or is it just a fabrication? Because what I find when I talk about it to our students, it's like some of the disbelief is around the magnetism of drawing into your life what you think about. And there's a disbelief of that. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We do form a lot of our limiting beliefs, our core limiting beliefs around our self-esteem in early life, up to the age of around 6 or 7, because we're sponges, we're absorbing what the elders are saying to us. And we're not questioning at that age. We start questioning after the age of 7 or so. Now, when maybe, you think your parents preferred a sibling to you, or you asked for something and it wasn't given, or you feel in some way that you were rejected as a child. What we do is that we make up a meaning about it. Oh, my parents are too busy to play with me, therefore I'm not important. Or they prefer my sibling to me. I feel that, they're rejecting me and who I am. And then we carry that limiting belief into our adult life. And as I said, we keep looking for evidence it's true, because we always like to be right. For example, someone says no to working with us, there you go, I've been rejected again. I don't like it. I want to avoid this situation. In terms of our thoughts magnetic, I would invite everyone on this call to look at their results.
Yeah.
And the thoughts they have about their expectations in life. What do they expect in life? And they'll probably find that what they expect in life is what they're getting. And there's a very, that is very even. So your expectations are here, your results are here. Now, if your expectations are there and they are genuinely there, they're not there because you talk yourself into thinking, oh, I do want to be successful, but there's a deep part of you, 12% is conscious thinking, 88% is subconscious thinking. So we're not aware of the subconscious thinking, but it's so powerful. So if your subconscious thinking is saying, oh, you can't have that, you don't deserve it, you're not good enough to have that. Remember what your parents said about you, that you weren't worth anything. So if you've got that deep subconscious thinking going on, even though you may say, my goal is this, and I feel I can have it, until you deal with the subconscious rubbish thinking and clear that out and plant new great thoughts in your subconscious, which will support your goals, then you're going to keep coming up against these obstacles in life, not just in business, but in life. And it's going to be there until you take action on them.
And you get rid of it. It's a perception, right? I know, I think something that was powerful for me was I'm the eldest of 5 children. And as such, I have, let's say, different memories of things that happened in childhood. And we might be in company and I would tell a story about something that happened. And my younger sibling would say, that's not true. That did not happen. And it would make me feel insignificant or smaller, in that I would now have to argue with her. And she read a book, an Oprah recommended book called The Poisonwood Bible. And she gave it to me after she'd read it. And she said, I apologize. I want you to read this because it's the story of 3 children that go on missionary work with their parents. And they each tell the story through their own eyes, right? So it's the lens of perception. This exact same thing happened, but 3 siblings saw it differently. And it was very powerful. And I think, maybe that's something that goes on in people's lives. I find the biggest challenge particularly with our students is that magnetic concept of you are pushing out positive thoughts or negative thoughts. There's only one thing happening, not both at the same time, one thing. And it's like getting a little magnet and pushing the pins across the table like you did when you were a kid, and you can pull them to you or throw them away. And it's the same in business. And why do we struggle to get what we want? We want more business, but we don't want the stress of it. Why do we struggle with that?
I've worked with hundreds of clients, entrepreneurs, to help them to create the success that they want. And one thing that I find really interesting is that there's a real big fear of success. And when I say this to my clients, some of them say, well, of course I want to be successful. That's why I left the corporate world. That's why I set up my own business, because I want to be successful. Why wouldn't I want to be? And I'll say to them, well, why do you work so hard to make sure you're not successful or as successful as you want to be? And then we do an exercise to find out, what do you fear about being more successful? What would you stand to lose if you were more successful? And that sounds like a really crazy question, because we tend to think, well, there's a fear of failure, but there's not fear of success. And there are some really interesting answers that I've heard about what they would stand to lose if they were more successful. And it could be they fear that family members or friends will be jealous of their success, and they may lose valuable relationships, or they may be rejected by, family or friends. They may feel that they have to work very hard and sacrifice certain things to have the success that they want in terms of energy and time. They may take time away from their family or their friends or their hobbies, or they may feel that they don't deserve to be more successful. That is a really core belief, and a lot of people have, and that a lot of people don't want to admit to having that. And there's other reasons as well. It could be that they feel, well, if I have that success, what if I don't maintain it? I'd feel terrible if I lost it. So there's lots and lots of different reasons why people work against themselves to make sure they don't achieve that level of success. But in the meantime, what's happening is they're working day in, day out. They're spending all their time thinking about things. They're in struggle most of the time. And this can continue for years and years and decades. I've worked with clients who said, I've been struggling with this for, decades. And I now know that it's me. It's not the marketing. It's not other people. It's not anything else. It's me. And I've got to sort this out now once and for all, because I cannot carry on like this.
That's great. So what is the biggest mindset strategy that's helping your clients to create success?
The biggest mindset strategy is to become super aware of the thinking and super aware of the lies, these baseless meanings, negative meanings that we're making up about marketing, about pricing, about putting ourselves out there, and realize that it's all an inside job. And be very, very careful with the meanings you're making up. So when you think about doing marketing of any type and you resist doing it, you procrastinate on it, you get distracted, ask yourself, okay, what am I thinking right now? So maybe it's not going to work. I'm going to put all this time and effort into it and no one's going to want it anyway. So just capture on paper what the negative thinking is that pops into your head. And then you'll start getting a clear picture of how you're sabotaging yourself. So awareness is always, always the first step. And when you can get to the stage where you stop creating negative meanings about marketing, then you'll automatically start marketing, because there won't be a negative meaning attached to it. All you're going to do is sit down and write a marketing piece, or you're going to pick up the phone and talk to someone. And when it becomes a negative activity, it loses all its resistance. And that's just one way. I mean, there are lots of different, mindset tools that I use to help my clients to be able to market very successfully. But that is one of the key pieces to remember. You're making it all up. All those negative connotations you have about marketing, you're making them all up in your head, because there are other people who are marketing very successfully. It works great. And they're the ones who are getting out there and getting the clients.
And I think you have in the UK, you have a tennis star right now.
Yes, who was born in Canada.
And 18 years old. I'm sure she didn't get to that Grand Slam title by thinking she couldn't do it.
No, her inner game is so strong.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
She said that her parents are very hard to please. And that's one of the reasons she's so tenacious.
Yes.
It is a mind game. And we've seen Olympians, we've seen tennis stars who are just saying, I cannot take the pressure anymore. I'm stepping out of this.
Yeah.
And they're all brilliant. They've all got great strokes. But what differentiates the top 1% is their inner game. And they have psychologists traveling with them, all elite sports stars, most elite business people, they do personal development work as the first thing they do.
That's amazing. And I know when we come into our own industry of staging, what I see, the majority of people have a talent first, and then they're shocked to find out that they actually have self-limiting beliefs, because it's the thing that holds them back in their business development. And not being aware of it is okay, but I see 20% of the success ratio at least tied to mindset, at least, or even like 100%, I suppose we could really say, right? Because
Absolutely.
without it, you're not going to get there.
And it's very easy to say, well, so-and-so is better at it than me, or, you know, only the most talented get to the top, or the ones who've got the connections, or maybe even the best looking ones. It's not true. In majority of the cases, the ones who get to the top are the ones who have the peak performance mindset. They have the big vision. They believe they can have what they want. Now, they will still have stumbles along the way, but they don't let that stop them. And they are very tied to their vision, and they have the thinking that they aren't limited. Most people tie in with a very limited version of themselves. I can only have this much in life. That's it. Other people can have more, but I only deserve to have this little bit here. And the ones who are super successful aren't always the most talented. I mean, off the top of my head, look at Madonna. She's not the most talented singer, but she's the most tenacious, determined, strong-willed, with an absolute belief in herself. And she went all the way to the top. And there were more talented singers and dancers and performers who never had that belief in themselves. And the belief comes from the deep subconscious part of you, not from your conscious mind. It's the deep subconscious. If that is full of self-belief, you are going to climb mountains.
That's awesome. So how can anybody get a hold of you, Nina? Well, one, I want you to give us a final sort of tip or motivational thought that you share with your clients, and then how can we get a hold of you?
My top tip is to create a daily mantra. This event has no meaning. Marketing has no meaning. It's just a neutral thing. And I can do it. I'm absolutely capable. I've got the talent. I've got the skills. I've been brilliantly trained. I know what I'm doing. I can help people. So I'm going to strip off that negative meaning about marketing, and I'm going to do it intentionally. So I can just sit down and do my great marketing work and get clients in. So that is a reminder throughout the day that it's just a neutral activity. And in terms of people being able to get hold of me, I love talking to people. So if anyone wants to get in contact, my email address is nina@ninacooke.co.uk.
That's
Nina, Nina at Nina, Cooke, COOKE.co.uk. And another thing that I'd love to share with your audience is a free gift that I've created. It's called the Millionaire Mindset Scorecard. So many people come to me and say, I don't know what my limiting beliefs are. How do I find them? So I've created a scorecard where you can rate yourself on limiting beliefs about money, about success, and you can start getting a really clear picture of where you're getting in your own way. And once you have those limiting beliefs from the Millionaire Mindset Scorecard, there's analysis there about what your score means, and also how you can start removing those limiting beliefs. And the link for that is ninacooke.co.uk/scorecard.
Perfect. Well, when we send out this recording, we'll put that at the bottom so everybody can see that. So thank you so much for your time today. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon, because we're going to be together again very quickly.
Thank you, Christine. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.